Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today, inshallah, we're going to complete our talk about the analysis of cost. So let's start with the relationship between the cost and the production curves. The relationship between the cost and the production curves in the short run. To start the analysis or to analyze the relationship between the cost and the production, let us suppose that you have a new business, or you would like to start a new business, which is a grocery. And this grocery, you need only workers as a variable cost. So we ignore the raw material and so on. So suppose that we have, in the short run, we have only workers as a variable cost. How much is the total variable cost? Equals the total variable cost in this case equals the number of workers that you hire times the wage that you pay for this number of workers. So suppose that you have 2 workers, 2L, and you pay 50 shekels a day per worker. So how much is the total variable cost that you pay per day? TVC in this case equals the wage that you pay times the number of workers, L, right? So in the short run, if we have only one variable factor, the total or the labor to the total variable cost equals W times L, right? Is it easy to derive the average variable cost? Yes, because AVC equals TVC over Q, right? So in this case, TVC or AVC equals WL over Q, right? So AVC equals W times L over Q. Right? This is the first formula. Then, what about the average production of labor, APL? Average production of labor equals what? TP over L. Sorry? TP over L. Yes, the total production over the number of workers. So equals total production over L, or a Q over L. What is the relationship between APL, which is Q over L, and this part of this formula, L over Q? Yes, opposite. So in this case, AVC, as you see, when AVC equals W, W times L over Q, so AVC equals W times 1 over APL, right? Or AVC equals W times 1 W over APL. So what do you see? Yes, Batas.
Between APL and AVC.
Excellent. So in this case, as you see, there is an inverse relationship between APL, the average production of labor, and the average variable cost. Yes, the highest APL, the smallest AVC, or the lowest AVC, and vice versa for sure, right? So this is the first formula. Let's analyze the relationship between the marginal cost and the marginal production of labor. Okay. What about MC? As we mentioned that TVC equals W times L, right? And the marginal cost, as you know, equals the change in TVC over delta Q, right? So MC equals delta W times L over delta Q, right? Suppose that we have, so in this case, MC equals W times delta L over delta Q, right? What about MPL, the marginal production of labor, MPL? As you know that the marginal production of labor equals delta total production over delta L, or delta Q over delta L, right? It's the opposite of this case, right? So in this case, when MC equals W times delta L over delta Q, so MC equals W times 1 over MPL, or the marginal cost equals W over MPL. So what do you see? Yes, ma'am.
There's an inverse or negative relationship
Between?
MPL marginal production and marginal.
Excellent, excellent, yes. So as you said, it's the same. There is an inverse relationship between the marginal cost and the marginal production of labor. When, or the highest MPL, the smallest or the lowest marginal cost, right? Let's take the following exercise to analyze the relationship and draw the relationship between the marginal cost and marginal MPL, as well as AVC and APL. Suppose that we have the following information in this table. Suppose that we have the following information about a firm. L, this is the number of workers, 0, 1, 2, 3 to 7. The quantity produced, or the total production, this is the total production. Not TPL, it's total production. The question is calculate the marginal production of labor, APL, TVC, AVC, MC, TFC, and total cost. If the wage per worker a month is $300, so suppose that the firm pays $300 per worker a month. As we mentioned that the marginal production of labor equals what? MPL delta TP over delta L, or delta Q over delta L. In the first case, when the labor is 0 and the Q is 0, there is no change. Then 100 minus 0 over 1 minus 0, 100. 300 minus 100 over 2 minus 1, 200. And so on, 400, 300, 200, 150, right? What about APL? APL equals total production over L. APL equals TPL over L. The total production of labor is the APL, average production of labor, TPL over L, 100 over 1, 100, 300 over 2, 150, and so on. So we can see it in this table. APL is, as you see, 100, 150, 233.3, and so on. 250, 240, right? What about the TVC. As we mentioned that if we have only one variable factor in the short run, which is the labor, TVC equals W times L. So in the first case, as we mentioned that the wage equals 300, 300 times the 0 equals 0. 300 times 1, 300. 200, 300, 600, and so on. Right? What about AVC? AVC equals TVC over Q. AVC, TVC over Q. So in this case, AVC, TVC over Q. For the first case, 300 over 100, 3. Then 600 over 300, 2. And so on. Right? What about the marginal cost? The marginal cost is, we can calculate the marginal cost by using two formulas. The first one is MC equals delta TVC over delta Q, right? So the first case, when the labor of the quantity equals 0, in this case MC, there is no change. But then delta TVC, 300 minus 0 over 100 minus 0. How much? 300 over no, 3, yes. 300 minus 0 over 100 minus 0, so 3. Then 600 minus 300 over 300 minus 100 اللي هو قديش؟ Yes. Let's do the calculation. 600 minus 300 over how much? 300 over 100 and minus 100 equals 300 over 200 equals 1.5. So in this case, the marginal cost equals 1.5, and so on. The results are available here. هي النتائج هي موجودة. هي as you see, the marginal cost in this case 3, 1.5, 0.75, 1, 1.5, 3, 6. Right? You can write it down. What about the? Sorry? Yes, the second formula is MC, the marginal cost, equals delta total cost over delta Q. Right? Or W over MPL. صح? Let's see. Over 1. Yes. As we mentioned that the marginal cost equals the wage over MPL at each point. In this case, at the marginal cost equals at 1 here, or at this point, MC. Yes, as we mentioned that we already calculated MPL, right? And the wage equals 300. So how much is the marginal cost? Marginal cost in this case equals W, which is 300, over MPL, اللي هو 100, equals 3. How much is MC? 3. For the second, 300 over 2. قديش MC? 100.1.5. Yes, 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 over MPL مظبوط. Yes, over 200. Yes, 300 the wage over 200 equals 1.5, right? The same. طيب. Let's go to calculate the total fixed cost and the total cost. As you see here, we have the total cost of 1,600. TC minus TVC بعطينا TFC. So how much is the TVC? We calculated it. It's already calculated. How much was it? It was 1,200. So to calculate the TFC, in this case, it's equals to TFC equals total cost minus TVC. So TFC equals 1,600 minus 1,200 equals 400. So the all values of TFC would equal 400 as well. So then it's easy to complete the table or to calculate the values of total cost. When the total fixed cost equals 400 in all cases, the total cost equals TFC plus TVC. So it's easy to calculate the total cost. It's illustrated in this table. So you can see it as this. The total cost equals the total fixed cost plus the total variable cost. In the first case, equals 400, and then 400 plus 300 equals 700, and so on. Right? تمام؟ What about the another formula which illustrates the relationship between AVC? As we mentioned that AVC equals W over what? APL, right? We derived this formula, right? So let's see or do the test for this formula in this table. As we mentioned that the average variable cost equals W wage over APL. If APL equals 150, suppose that APL equals 150 and the wage, as we mentioned, equals 300. So how much is the AVC? It should be 2, because in this case AVC equals W, which is the 300, over APL 150 equals, it must equals 2. Where is it?
2.
So the formula is right. تمام? Okay. Now let's draw the diagram or the figure that illustrates the relationship between AVC, APL, MC, MPL. Right? So now let's analyze and draw the curves or the production and cost curves and analyze the relationship between the cost and the production curves or using graph. As we mentioned that or before, okay, now we are going to use a graph in order to explain the relationship between the production and cost curves. So this graph, we have two graphs. The first, the above graph illustrates the relationship between the marginal production of labor, MPL, APL, MPL, APL. At this curve, where is the highest value of MPL? In this, let's come back to the table. Where is the highest value of the marginal production of labor, MPL? 400, yes. So, MPL is 400. How much is the number of workers? 3. Right? Yes, 3. What about the average production of labor? APL. What is the highest value of APL in this column? 250. Yes. 250. In this case, the number of workers are 4. If we come back to the curve, as you see, MPL is increasing and then decreasing, and it might equals minus. For APL, increasing and decreasing, and it never reached to the 0. Let's come back to the table. As you see, MPL is increasing and then decreasing. APL increasing and then decreasing. So as you see, it's positive and reach to the peak, then decreasing. It might equals to 0 and then negative or minus. What about the AVC and MC? This is the marginal cost curve, and suppose here this is the AVC. AVC. What about the marginal cost curve? The marginal cost is decreasing and increasing. The average variable cost decreasing and increasing, right? Where is the minimum value of this, or the vertical axis explain the MC and AVC, right? And this column, or this the horizontal axis explain the quantity produced. Where is the minimum value of the marginal cost? Where is it? In this column, the marginal cost 0.75. The marginal cost is 0.75, and the quantity produced equals how much? This no. The cost, when we talk about the cost, we talk about the relationship between the marginal cost average and the quantity produced. But in the labor market, when we talk about the average production of labor, marginal production of labor, we talk about the production and the number of workers. But here we're talking about the quantity produced and the cost, right? So in this case, Q equals 700. Suppose this is point A and this is point B. Where is the minimum value of AVC? AVC 1.2. in this case, Q equals 1,000. So it's equals to 1.2 and 1,000. So let's do a comparison between these two figures. What do you see? When we can see that when the MPL reached the peak, or the highest value of MPL is the minimum value of MC at this point, which illustrates the negative relationship between MC and MPL. MC, as we mentioned, equals W over MPL. So the highest value of MPL, the smallest value of MC. Yes,
equals 1,000.
yes.
ABC وMC doesn't it?
قديش طيب؟ مش هي بنفترض انها قريبة يا معتصم، يعني بس احنا now we are analyzing the relationship between ال APL وال AVC, MPL and MC. So here we can see that the highest value of MPL, where is it? Here. It's the smallest value of MC.
0.75.
Yes. Right? And the same for the APL and AVC. As we mentioned that AVC equals W over APL. So the highest value of APL is the smallest value of AVC. So let's come back to the AVC and APL. AVC in this case, where is the highest value of the smallest value of AVC? 1.20. And where is the smallest value of, or the largest value of APL? Here. So as you see, the smallest value of AVC is the highest value of APL, right? Is there something ambiguous for you? Okay. Let's go to another issue. Three, four, okay, profit maximization, 5. Now let's go to the profit maximization. Profit maximization. Sorry, في شيء حاجة. We have two ways for profit maximization. And as we mentioned before that, each company or each firm aims at maximizing its profits, right? By increasing the total revenues and decreasing the total costs, right? So we have two ways to calculate or to determine the profit maximization. What is the total profit equal? Total profit equals total revenue minus the total cost, right? مظبوط ولا لا؟ To maximize the profit, we look for the highest gap between the total revenue and the total cost, but when the total revenue is larger than the total cost, right? So let's assume that we have the following information. As you see, what is the total revenue equal? The total revenue equals price times the quantity, right? So let's go to this table and see how can the firm maximize its profits. As you see, here we have the quantity produced or quantity sold, right? And suppose that we work in the perfect competition market. Perfect competition market means سوق منافسة كاملة. In this case, the price in the market price is equal for all the firms. So in the perfect competition market, we are coming to this point on by the next chapter, but what we have to take something about it. In the perfect competition market, we have high numbers of firms, and all these firms sell the same product. The products in these that's sold by each firm is identical. The product that Muhammad sells equals the product that the Ali sells, and so on, right? So they have to sell their products by the same price. So suppose that the price in the market equals 1. This is the price of the product. So how much is the total revenue? Total revenue equals price times the quantity. As we mentioned that the total revenue equals the price times the quantities. So in this case, the total revenue equals the price times the quantity. 1 times 0 equals 0. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 2, 2, and so on. This is the total revenue, right? And suppose that we calculated the total cost, and it was 1 to 2.8 to 3.5 and so on. What the question is, calculate the total profit and explain or determine the quantity that maximize the profits for the company or the firm, right? So the total profit equals what? Total revenue minus total cost. The total revenue minus total cost in this case. Total revenue 0 minus 1 minus 1. 1 minus 2 minus 1. 2 minus 2.8 minus 0.8 and so on. So here we have what? Loss. Because the total revenue is smaller than the total cost. When the total revenue, if total revenue is larger than the total cost, there is a profit, right? And if the total revenue equals total cost, there is no loss, no profits, or the economic profits equals 0. It's called the normal profits. If total revenue is smaller than the total cost, it calls loss, right? So in these cases, at these quantities, quantity 0, 1, 2, 3, the firm gains loss. And here there is equilibrium. So a break even. Yes, break even, because the total revenue equals the total cost. There is no profit, no loss. So in this case, there is a break even, تعادل. Then the company starts to gain or to earn profits. Where is the highest profit achieved? Where is the largest value of profits? It's here. تمام? So what is the quantity that minimize or maximize the profit? And then as you see, the profits started to decline and then minus. Now, what about the marginal revenue? Is it easy to calculate the marginal revenue? Okay, before that, I will draw the diagram that illustrates the profit maximization by using the total methods or the totals method. If we do the total revenue, this is the 0 minus and the positive. The total revenue starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the quantities 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we do, this is the quantity and this is the total revenue. At the quantity 0, the total revenue is 0. At the quantity 1, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the value of a quantity. What about the value of total revenue? 0 from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If the quantity equals 0, the total revenue equals 0 as well. 1, 1, 2, 2, a dash, 3, 3. If we connect these points together, we will reach to the total revenue curve. This, it's called the total revenue curve. Right? Okay? So as you see, it has a positive slope. And then maybe it would decline. Right? What about the total cost curve? If we remember that when we draw the total fixed cost, suppose it was 5. ليش بيبدأ total cost من عند الواحد هان. This is the total fixed cost. صح? Because the total fixed cost is or equals the total cost when a quantity equals 0. If we produce nothing, the total cost equals total fixed cost at 1. Right? And in this case, the total cost starts from this point. If we draw the this is the total cost curve. هذا total cost curve. فاكرينه؟ تمام. So as you see, in this area, the total revenue, the total cost is larger than the total revenue. صح? So there is what? Loss or profits? So in this case, there is a loss. So, could we advise the producer to produce in this area? No, because in this area, the firm achieves loss. At this point, there is what? Total revenue equals total cost. So there is a break even, right? تمام؟ طيب. Where is the point where total cost equals total revenue? At the quantity 4. اللي هي عند 4 مظبوط. طيب. هلا what about this area? Total revenue is larger than the total cost. Excellent. So in this area, there is a profit. Or there is a profit. Because the total revenue is larger than the total cost. Right? where is the highest profits achieved? At the largest or the highest distance, vertical distance between total revenue and total cost. أكبر مسافة عمودية بين total revenue and total cost. This which it maximize the profits for the whom? For the firm. تمام? So where is it? At 9. In this case, the highest profits at 9. إذن هذا الرسمة في عندنا غلط. هذا لازم تكون عند 8 and 9 هنا. تمام? So in this case, the highest profit achieved when or at Q equals 9. يعني هذا لو بدنا نعدلها هيك تيجي تمام. خلاص بس الايديا واضحة ولا لا؟ تمام. So to calculate the total profits, as you see, equals total revenue minus total cost. What about the marginal revenue? Marginal revenue equals delta total revenue over delta Q. Marginal revenue equals delta total revenue over delta Q. So let's calculate the marginal revenues in these cases. Total revenue for the first case is 0. It equals to 0 or unknown, and then 1 minus 0 over 1 minus 0, it equals 1, and then 2 minus 1 over 2 minus 1, 1, yes, 1. So in all cases, the marginal revenue equals how much? 1. In the perfect competition market, the price equals the marginal revenue, and it's a theory. And the perfect competition market, the price equals the marginal revenue for the firm. So as you see, the price is 1, the marginal revenue equals 1 in all cases, right? And we will see it by using graph after maybe 10 minutes, inshallah. But what about the marginal cost? The marginal cost equals delta TC over delta Q. MC equals delta TC over delta Q, right? Where's TC? Here. For the first case, it's unknown. And then 2 minus 1 over 1 minus 0, it equals 1. Where after that, 2.8 minus 2 over 2 minus 1, 0.8, and so on. Where is the maximum profit achieved in this case? As we mentioned that the total profits achieved when there is a highest gap between, or the largest distance between total gap between total revenue and total cost. Where is it here? 1.14. This is, it's called the total method or the totals method, طريقة المجاميع. لو مجموع total revenue ومجموع total cost. But we have another method, it's called the marginal method, طريقة الحديات. The marginal cost equals marginal revenue. In this case, when the marginal revenue equals the marginal cost, in this case, what? There is profit maximization. So the profit maximized or is maximized when the marginal revenue equals the marginal cost. Right? تمام? What about the break even? As we mentioned that the break even occurs when the total revenue equals the total cost. In this case, the total profit equals 0. Right? and what? The price equals average total cost. صح? As we mentioned that the break-even point occurs when total revenue equals total cost, right? Or when the price times Q equals total cost. If we divided these two parts on or by Q, so P equals ATC. So the break-even point achieved when the price equals ATC. Where is it in this case? The price equals 1 in all cases, but where is average total cost equals 1? At quantity 4. Yes, this is the break-even. The break-even occurs when the price equals ATC. And the break-even occurs when the total revenue equals the total cost. Or when the total profit equals 0. Right? Huh? Right. So I will come back to an important issue, which is as we mentioned that in the totals method, here we have the total revenue, and this is the total cost, right? And suppose this is A, B, Q, TR and TC. Before A, there is a loss, break even, and here we have break even as well, and here we have profits. And as we mentioned that the profit is being maximized when there is, or at the largest distance, vertical distance between total revenue and total cost. Where is it? Maybe this, right? So the largest vertical or the highest vertical distance between total revenue and total cost is, or maximize the profit under the condition of the total revenue must larger than or greater than the total cost. Because in this case, there is a highest vertical distance between total cost and total revenue, but the total cost in this case is larger than the total revenue. So there is a loss. There's no profits, right? We have another question. What about the slope? What about the slope? The slope of marginal cost at this point. It's the tangent. شو tangency? To calculate the slope of TC at this point. عطول بعمل هيك وهذا شو ماله؟ بعمل دلتا TC over delta Q. Right? طب هذا عبارة عن ايش؟ This is the MC. مظبوط؟ In this case, at this point, the slope of TC equals the slope of TR. What about this point? The same. The slope of TC equals the slope of TR. Right? But we need, so the profit maximum, in this case, the slope of TR is larger than the slope of TC. So, in this case, the slope of TC is larger than the slope of TR. مظبوط? So the profit maximized when the slope of TR equals the slope of TC and TC is increasing or the change in TC is positive. لأنه هنا the change in TC إيش ماله؟ is negative. هنا أيوه هيك يتناقص أو decreasing. بس هنا ال MC أو دلتا TC the slope of TC إيش ماله؟ متزايد. Yes, yes. So let's come back to analyze the relationship. So as you see, the profit is maximized when there is a highest gap between total revenue and total cost, but under the condition that the total revenue is larger than the total cost, right? What about the slope? The slope of TC equals what? Delta TC over delta Q. اللي هو ايش هذا؟ This is the marginal cost. What about the slope of TR? So here it has been maximized. When the slope of TC equals the slope of TR. Slope of TR اللي هو ايش؟ delta TR over delta Q. اللي هو ايش هذا؟ What is this? Excellent. It's the marginal revenue. MR اللي هو delta TR over delta Q. So the profit maximization occurs when MR equals MC. The slope of total cost equals the slope of TR, but when MC is increasing. Right? So what is it here? The profit maximized at this point where MC equals MR. In this case we have the highest profit. صح? So the profit is maximized when the marginal cost equals the marginal revenue, but the marginal revenue when the marginal cost is increasing. تمام? Because here we have also MC equals MR, but there is no profit maximization. It's loss. Right? طيب. Let's go to another issue. Is it easy to calculate the marginal profits in this case? Marginal profits. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What?
Delta TP over delta.
Excellent, yes. The marginal profits equals the marginal total profits over delta Q. So, sorry, yes, the marginal profits equals delta total profits over delta Q. It's similar to the marginal revenue, which is delta TR over delta Q. The same of MC equals delta TR over delta Q, delta TC, because it's the marginal. So let's calculate the marginal profits here, MP. Or we have another formula to calculate the marginal profits. As we mentioned that the total profits equals total revenue minus total cost, right? Let's change it by using the marginal revenue, marginal cost, and marginal profits. Marginal profits شو بتساوي؟ delta marginal revenue minus marginal cost. The same, because delta TP over delta Q equals delta TR over delta Q minus delta TC over delta Q. So this is MP equals MR minus MC, and the profit is maximized when what? MR equals MC, as we mentioned, and the marginal profit equals 0. So let's calculate MP in this case. MP equals MR minus MC, 1 minus 1, 0, and 1 minus 0.8 0.2, right? And then 0.3 and 0.5. 0. Where is it? 5? Yes. 0.3 and 2. 0. How much؟ مش عارف قديش. اللي بعدها yes. اللي بعدها 0. بعدها minus how much? How much? MR minus MC minus 0.5 minus 1.64. So where is the profit maximized? When the marginal profit equals 0. شايفين؟ وين المعنى profit maximization? When the marginal profit equals 0. صح؟ So if we have the following conditions, or if MR is larger than MC, MP is positive or negative. If MR, we have three conditions. If MR is larger than MC, what about MP? The marginal profits, is that positive or negative? MP is positive, because as we mentioned that the marginal profit equals marginal revenue minus marginal cost. So suppose that the marginal revenue equals 10 and marginal cost equals 7, or marginal revenue is larger than the marginal cost, MP would be positive. Yes, yes. But it's not the profit maximization. There's no profit maximization. If MP, number 2, if MR equals MC, in this case, the marginal profits equals 0. And in this case, we have a profit maximization. If MR is smaller than MC, in this case, MP is negative. Right? مين عنده مشكلة؟ Yes, yes, yes.
Accused when ATC crosses MC, right?
ATC crosses what?
Here. ATC here.
Yes, 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 because it's the minimum value of ATC.
They must equal this word.
Yes.
But they're not.
No, the break even occurs when at the minimum value of ATC, and sometimes it's not equal to MC. Okay, يعطيكم العافية. السلام عليكم.